What are the changes for the students? Transitioning to middle school or to high school can be daunting in and of itself. New peers, new teachers, new environment, and now I have to put myself forward on top of this. So the roadblocks may be anything from not feeling confident, I'm afraid of not following the teacher's rules, I'm afraid of being called out in class, or I don't want to ask for help, I can figure it out. I don't want to rock the boat, etc., etc. Students need to think critically about themselves as learners and recognize their needs in the different classrooms. Or they should be able to do this at this point, or they should start to try the process. And I know we practice that early on, but this is the point where if they're in the driver's seat, this is what they need to do. They need to accept that they have these needs, and every student will be different as a learner, and the needs will also be different. A lot of it depends on the constellations of abilities and disabilities. So this communication with teachers becomes germane to who the student is. It becomes their sense of identity. This identity should be understood by all involved. So along with the team, parents need to completely understand and completely accept the learning needs of their children. An example would be, in terms of the understanding, what does slow processing mean? It is so much more than needing more time. So understanding how that affects the student in the classroom or even at home when working. This is a life skill, self-advocating, because this type of thinking and communication is valuable in all relationships, whether it be at Starbucks all the way to be able to asking for what you need with a spouse. There are changes for parents too. There are many more teachers involved at this level, A days, B days. Every teacher has a different setup for the class. Parents may also have a different kid, like we said, living with them because of the trials and tribulations of this adolescence. Parents need to be familiar with the processes of the 504 IEPs at the higher level. I know they've been dealing with it for a while, perhaps, but their child should be present and be an active part of this legal process, if possible. And I say that because sometimes it is hard depending on how the student study team collaborates. Some problem solve and others not so much. And some teachers jump right in to help, and others may not fully understand the implications in the classroom of the learning disability, combined with someone who is bright and creative. So as part of this learning process for parents, they can realize their own perceptions and expectations and what is realistic. Your student might have the ability, but may not have the capability at this point. Many students come to me just having found out a diagnosis. In other words, they've gone through school, they've been fine, they've compensated, but they hit middle school or perhaps even high school, and they're just finding out these differences in them. Certain perceptions and expectations. So the curriculum, certain teachers, what the school will allow, these all change perspectives. Figuring out the who and the what that stops this self-advocacy progress is important to realize.